One thing, though, that and I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of work to do, because there absolutely is. For people who are talking about this as if we got completely decimated, the numbers don't bear that out. So Trump didn't cross 50% of the popular vote. So the majority of Americans didn't vote for him.
His popular vote victory ranks 44th out of 51. That ain't exactly strong. Some might argue that is weak, in the words of Tony Blair. In fact, his popular vote win at this point is the weakest, going all the way back. You have to go all the way back to 2000 to find a weaker one, a smaller popular vote victory than Donald Trump currently has. So, yeah, Trump has won the popular vote, but it ain't all that, my dear friend John Berman.
You know, George W. Bush had a bigger popular vote
Yes.
in 2004. And if you're looking at a combination of popular vote and electoral college vote, look, Obama twice had bigger popular vote and electoral college vote.
All of these so-called armchair quarterbacks who are saying that Donald Trump had this miraculous victory, that it's a referendum on Democrat and identity politics. These are people who are basing their ideas and their thoughts off of exit polls.
They voted for their pocketbooks, and frankly, I don't blame them. You know who I do blame? I blame the billionaires who have rigged our country against working people and spent the last 4 decades squeezing every penny they could out of people. I blame the politicians, including the incoming administration, who have abandoned workers and who have done nothing while the rich get richer and everyone else gets screwed. My friends on the other side, they want to blame trans people. Guess what? Trans people aren't the ones raising people's grocery prices. Big corporations are. They want to blame immigrants. And here's the deal. Immigrants aren't the ones denying health insurance claims, Mr. Speaker. It's the billion-dollar insurance companies that do that on a daily basis. And they want to blame woke this and woke that. What's woke about thinking special interests should not be able to buy tax breaks?
Here's the problem. No one knows exactly how people voted or who voted. What we do know is less Americans voted in this election than the last election. What we also know is Donald Trump did not even cross the 50% mark. That means a majority of voting Americans did not vote for Donald Trump. Think about that. A majority of voting Americans did not vote for Donald Trump. So while he did win the popular vote, we must admit that it was not a overwhelming majority. It was not this shellacking that everybody's talking about or pretending that happened.
We have a bubble around 40% of the population at least, and they don't know basic things about what Trump has done. Whenever Trump says something crazy and starts to perform vulgar acts on a microphone, they change the channel. The network changes the channel.
What got you excited to come to the Trump rally today?
He's a good man. I love him. We need him. He saved the country.
You love him?
Yeah, I think he's a good man. What do you think?
Why? When did you decide he was such a good man?
2016. I liked his words, and I like he did everything he said he was going to do, and he did it.
What are some of those things that he said and then he did? Just one thing. One thing he said and then he did.
He caught me off guard there. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask you one more question? Well, one last question here. Is there a crime, and we're talking about felonies and crimes here, is there something that...
They don't even know. They don't even know what the crime was.
Well, there it was paying hush money and cover up.
Hold on a second. Clinton paid Monica Lewinsky $800,000 in hush money. Where's his... Why is he not convicted?
So I have but the question I was going to ask, is there a crime he could commit that would disqualify him from your vote?
Never.
Murder?
No, because he would never do that, first of all. That's a stupid question. First of all...
He said that if he shot somebody on Fifth Avenue, that he would still win the presidency.
First of all, I'm no comment to that. But like I said, he did more in the 4 years that he was with all the things against him than Biden did in 3 years. I don't want to hear it.
He's been a champion for IVF.
He has not.
He had
I'm sorry,
absolutely
I need to interrupt.
He
I need
absolutely
to interrupt
has. You don't need to interrupt because you're wrong. He has been a champion in the party
people
for
watching.
speaking for
I
IVF.
wrote about this like 2 weeks ago. You can look at.
Well,
his
I listen to what he says all the time. He has
read
a statement in the middle.
I look at
You believe him when he says he's a father of IVF? When he says he's a father of IVF?
IVF.
Catherine finish because Catherine
I
has.
did too, but go ahead.
No,
Sure.
I mean, if you're having a back and forth, let's
look
let her
at
finish.
his actual record. For example, his recent statement saying, "Oh, we're going to make insurers cover IVF." You know that he led the initiative to repeal Obamacare, which got rid of all essential health benefits, all requirements for insurers to cover any sort of health care. That would include IVF.
Right.
Beyond that, there was a bill that Democrats proposed to protect IVF.
A sham vote, by the way.
We gotta go.
Now I need to
Guys,
because I want
guys,
to
we're
interrupt because it did not get
we
rid
are
of
at
all
the end
essential
of the
health
show, guys.
protections.
We gotta go. I'm sorry.
The hard truth is the Democrats switched up a candidate with less than 110 days, 115 days left before an election and put in a new candidate. A candidate who was basically being introduced to the country for the first time as top of the ticket. That's what we know for sure. What we also know is Donald Trump has a base that is rabid about him. They are a cult. They showed up. They absolutely did. But the good thing is they are not a majority of Americans. So what we need to do, those of us who care about democracy, those of us who care about other people, those of us who care about the Constitution and the institutions of this country, what we need to do is think better about how we engage our voters. Are we going to be transactional as we have been in the past? Are we going to continue to allow people like James Carville, who should be retired from talking about politics? We're going to continue to let him drive the narrative, and other old white men who want and fear that they are losing control of this country to people that look different than them. We're going to continue to allow them to have a say in a democracy that is crying for something else. Voters who are telling us over and over again that what we are doing is not reaching or showing them that their vote even matters because we are not listening to their needs and addressing their problems. This is really what's at stake. This is really what caused the election. And let me remind you of something. If anybody in this moment is telling you how people voted, don't trust those people. They are basing it off of exit polls, and exit polls are notoriously unreliable. If you don't believe me, just go look at every research outlet that does a study on exit polls and see how unreliable they are. It is not a way to gauge what happens. It is a way for media outlets to get more people looking at their shows while they have their pundits talk about things that are not grounded in facts. Exit polls are not fact. Wait until the data is available at the state level from the electoral or for the election commissions from each state board of elections, and then we can have this conversation. But before then, the only thing you need to realize is that the Democrats did not lose this election. They beat themselves. Not speaking to their voters in a manner that resonated or made them feel like their vote mattered. Donald Trump did not win in the majority of Americans. Think about that. He is president, but he did not win a majority of Americans. So while people are out here speaking on things that are not grounded in facts, just know that MAGA is not the majority of this country. I'm Mondale Robinson. Don't be fooled by the fools.